Most people waste their 40s and 50s preparing for a retirement they'll probably hate. They follow the script, work hard, save what they can, hope the pension's enough, and they wake up at 65 wondering, is this really it?
And for a lot of people watching this, that thought has already crept in. You're working harder than ever, but the future you're building doesn't look anything like the life you imagined.
Here's the thing, I'm 65 and I never saved a penny for a pension. I'll repeat that. I never saved a penny for a pension, not one. Everyone told me I was mad. That was being reckless. But I believe something different, that building my own business, creating something I controlled, was the only real security I'd ever have.
And they really did think you were mad, didn't they? I remember the conversations, people nodding politely but thinking that you were gambling away your future at the same time.
They did, and yet here we are, and those same people aren't laughing anymore, because the world they were preparing for doesn't exist anymore. The job for life, it's gone. The predictable pension, well, that's gone. And the old idea of work now, live later, that's gone too.
So this isn't just another business video. It's a wake-up call, because the second half of your life doesn't have to be about winding down. It can be the part where everything finally comes together if you take back control now. Here's what most people don't talk about. Midlife isn't a gentle slide into comfort, it's a moment where actually you can feel the walls start to close in. By the time you hit your 40s or 50s, you think you've done everything right. You've worked hard, you've paid in, you've followed the rules. But the dream you were sold doesn't match the reality.
And that's the moment people get stuck. They tell themselves they're too old to change direction. That the smart thing is to protect what they've built, not build something new. But here's the truth. Playing it safe isn't safety, it's surrender.
And the price of that surrender is huge, isn't it?
Yeah.
You stop taking risks, you stop experimenting, and eventually you stop trusting yourself.
Exactly, Michelle. It's like life gets smaller around you. And the tragedy is, that's often the moment when you've actually got the most to give. The experience, the knowledge, the drive, it's all there. But you're locked into a plan that was written for a different world.
Before we go any deeper, I think people need to know where we started, because we weren't born into this world of business and ownership, were we?
Not even close. Both of us grew up in northern mining towns, with ordinary families living on ordinary streets. And the system made its judgment very early. I went to what was called a secondary school. Yes, secondary school. That means that the schooling that I got wasn't the first run, the first tier, that was the grammar school, which basically meant I'd failed the 11 plus by the age of 11.
It's crazy when you say that out loud, actually. Being labelled a failure before you're even a teenager.
Yeah, definitely labelled as a failure. And once they put that label on you, the expectations, well, they shrink. Working class kids like me, we were meant to end up in factories or on the front lines if a war broke out. If you did have ambition, the system treated that as a problem, something that needed correcting.
So you learned early, if you wanted more, you'd have to find a way around the system.
Exactly, find a way around the system. I realised the game was rigged and I wasn't going to play by their rules. And that realisation shaped everything that came next.
You've talked about this idea of burning the boats for as long as I've known you. So where did that come from?
Oh, it's a guy called Napoleon Hill. And a long time ago, he wrote a book called Think and Grow Rich. I read it in my 20s, and there's a story in there that stuck with me for life. There's this Greek general. He lands on a foreign shore. He's got this massive army, and they've arrived by boat. And his first order is, burn those boats. And he gives this fantastic speech to them all. But the essence of it is, there's no retreat. If they're going home, it'll be through victory and victory alone.
Yeah, I still remember when you first told me that story. It was terrifying at the time because I'd grown up thinking the smartest thing to do was play it safe, tick all the boxes, follow the plan. And there you were saying, nope, we're burning the boats.
Yeah, it might sound reckless the way you say it, but for me, it became a principle. If I wanted to change my life, I couldn't keep one foot in the old one. By the time I hit my 40s, I was all in. If the business failed, I didn't have a pension. There was no plan B. And because of that, every decision mattered. There was nowhere to hide. We had to be victorious. So, think about it this way. Responsibility is freedom in disguise.
Yeah, I mean, that is a big shift, because once you see yourself as responsible for the success and the failures, everything changes. You stop looking for excuses and you start looking for the lessons.
Exactly. And here's the part most people don't get, Michelle. I worked 80-hour weeks and I loved it, because none of it was for someone else's dream. It wasn't pressure from above. It was the fuel inside me. My dream, my life, my freedom.
And family was always at the centre of it.
Absolutely.
This wasn't about, for us anyway, this wasn't about proving something to the world. It was about building a life that we could shape ourselves and a future for our kids, wasn't it?
Absolutely right. That's the point. It was never about beating the system for the sake of it. It was about building something that gave us choices.
Mark, you've said before that the real difference between people who build something meaningful and those who don't isn't talent. It's in how far they're willing to go. What do you mean by that?
Right, so here's what I've seen time and time again. Most people edge their bets. They dip a toe in just in case. They keep a backup plan just in case. They build a safety net, well, just in case. And that just in case thinking, it kills forward momentum. It stops you discovering what you're capable of. It keeps you circling the edge instead of diving straight into that messy middle.
Yeah, but that's understandable because we're taught that playing safe is a sensible thing to do, aren't we?
Yeah, but here's the truth. Safety can be the most dangerous strategy of all, because if part of you is always preparing for failure, you never fully commit to success. And if you never commit, you never build anything that lasts.
Yeah, that makes sense. So when you went all in, you removed the safety net completely then?
I did. That's the point. And that's what changed everything. I worked 80-hour weeks, not because someone told me to, but because I was building something that mattered. It never felt like a chore. It was hours. And that made every hour fuel, not exhaustion.
Yeah. And that's the shift, isn't it? From I'll try to I will.
Exactly. Edging feels safe, but it robs you of your potential. Going all in can look risky, but it's the only way you ever take control of your time, your choices, and your life.
If someone's watching this thinking, I want that, I want more control, where do they start?
Well, firstly, I hope they do want that, because then what you should do, I'd say this: make your life your own. Starting a business isn't just about money. It's about ownership. It's about shaping a life built on your decisions, not someone else's plan. And yeah, there's a cost. You'll work harder. You'll make tougher calls. But the difference is you choose that path, and that changes everything.
And that choice matters now more than ever, because most of the old escape routes have gone. The guaranteed pension, the job for life, the predictable ladder. The system seems to reward obedience, not independence. Following the plan doesn't make you free, it just keeps you useful. And that's why building something of your own isn't just a career move, it's one of the last ways left to break free. It's how you stop waiting for permission and start creating options.
And once you see it like that, Michelle, well, your motivation changes as well. It's not about chasing money, It's about building a life that's truly yours, where you decide how to spend your time, who to work with, what your work stands for.
If you've ever thought, I don't want more money, I want more say, this is how you get it.
Exactly. Freedom, it isn't given. Freedom is built.
Here's something most people don't realise. A business isn't just a way to make money, it's a way out, a safety valve when everything else stops working. And that's even more true if you're already running one, because the world isn't stable, is it? Rules change, markets shift, governments rewrite the playbook overnight, regularly. If your business is only replacing a job, then it's not enough. It needs to be a lifeboat, something that keeps you afloat when the tide turns.
Exactly. And if you're starting from nothing, don't overcomplicate it. Solve one small problem for someone and remember, get paid for it. That's all. That first sale will change how you see opportunity. Once you've done it, you'll never see the game the same way again.
And if you're already running a business, but it still feels like a job you built for yourself, that's definitely a sign that something needs to change,
Yes,
isn't it?
it is, because a business that traps you isn't an escape hatch. It's another cage. The goal is to build something that works without you. Remember that, without you. Systems, processes and assets that keep earning even when you're not in the room. And here's the thing, Michelle, you don't always have to start from zero. You can buy a business. Thousands change hands every year because the owners are retiring. Many are profitable and undervalued. Taking one over can be a shortcut and save you years of hard work.
How do you build that escape hatch then? Think of it like this. 3 steps. 1, decide. Stop waiting for perfect timing. 2, commit. Remove the easy exit, burn the boats. 3, persist. When it gets tough, and it will, it always does, keep going.
Most people never get past step 1. The difference between success and failure is staying in the fight.
Here's the truth. You don't have to accept the version of life you were handed. It's not set in stone, but nothing changes until you decide to change it.
And deciding, well, that doesn't mean throwing everything up in the air overnight. It means taking one deliberate step today. Remember that, today, not one day, today. If you're starting from zero, solve a problem and sell the solution. The first sale will change how you see opportunity.
And if you already run a business, stop letting it run you. Build systems, build assets, build time back into your life.
And if you're further down the track, think bigger. Buying an existing business can compress 10 years of effort into one bold move.
The goal's not retirement, it's freedom, isn't it? Freedom over your time, your work, your relationships, and your legacy.
Yeah, but I think people need to hear a very uncomfortable truth. The system is betting you'll never do it. It's counting on you to stay compliant, predictable, and small. But the moment you stop following the script, you become impossible to control.
10 years will pass no matter what you do. Spend them building something that belongs to you, something that outlives the job, the pension, the politics of the moment.
We're proof it's possible. 2 working class kids from mining towns who built businesses that changed everything. Not because we're special, but because we refuse to stay where the system put us. If we can do it, so can you.
And next time we're digging into the one thing that stops most people, even when they know all of this, and that's fear. How it shows up, how it holds you back, and how to use it as fuel instead of a cage.
Yes, because once you master that, nothing can stop you.